to Ask a Puppy Trainer Show. This is where we answer all of your questions about puppyhood. I'm Bethany.
And I'm Sparky from the Puppy Academy. We're excited you're here. And now, let's get to the show. Welcome to Ask a Puppy Trainer Show live episode.
We're just gonna do this.
188.
Okay, no, we're not.
We got some energy going on. I'm gonna back away so my mic doesn't get kicked. All right.
Okay, Lily, I gotta calm you down, sister. All right.
You want to address it, or do you want me to just kind of keep going?
No, just keep going.
Okay. She'll address this in a few minutes once she's able to get her settled.
No, but there wasn't. It just now did that. Yeah.
Ooh, maybe it's one of those things where people can like buy a filter and put it on their faces.
Okay, so I am gonna address
Someone
it.
put a hat
I'm
on
gonna
it.
make a fist. Oh, she stopped, and she's distracted. And I'm gonna just be chill. And I'm gonna hold her under her chest, and I'm gonna take this hand, and I'm just gonna hold her firmly and calm her down.
And to be clear, that hand's on her chest and shoulders, not up to the neck. You're not trying to grab the neck. It's on her shoulder blades.
Yeah, it's on her chest. And she just moved. No, we are not.
But why would we correct licking? It's just affection. We're not
Excited.
rewarding affection because we're not getting the calm dog.
Yeah.
What we're waiting for is for her to give in and settle, and then Bethany will decide whatever reward she gets after that.
And it's not just excitement. It's excitement anxiety, which is overstimulation, which is the number one issue in today's dogs, which is why bites are going through the roof, among other things, even in the sweet little doodle population.
It's true. It's true. You got to remember, doodles still have poodle in there, and poodles are a very intense breed.
And retrievers can be too.
Yeah, they can be.
Yeah. So you guys, if you've joined us, thank you. We like to prioritize our live people. So if you have a question, please include the age and breed of your dog.
And if we're reading your question and you want to do a follow-up, write me, and then ask the follow-up. We'll know it's you asking the question.
You don't have to write
You don't have to write me. I kind of want to see who's going to do it.
I need to get my phone out.
I won't answer it unless you write me.
You need to grab the tickety talk.
Ricky, I got to give it to you because I didn't do it.
We're going, I'm going to pull up Instagram. All right. Okay. Yeah, we look weird.
Why do we look weird on it?
I don't know. All right. Anyway, you got your questions?
All right, we're going to go with Kyle Pope because I like your last name. 10-week-old golden puppy snapping and growling at us when picking her up randomly, not all the time, but at random. Well, 10 weeks old is pretty young to be getting that. I'm curious to know if the dog has had a lot of couch time, a lot of cuddle time, being held a lot, getting a lot of affection. What ends up happening when you give too much of that too early is the dog gets used to instant gratification. So they become a little bit more quick to bite, to jump, to nip, to demand, because everything they're asking for is being given instantly. Too much cuddle time on the couch, not enough training time.
Yep.
Your dog actually starts becoming the leader without you even realizing it. So when you go to like pick up your dog and move them off the couch, they growl and maybe give you like a little snip on the hand. They're giving you a heads up that they don't like that, and they're telling you no. So these are the things that could happen. I'm feeling that's probably what you're getting. What would I do? I would eliminate couch privileges. I would eliminate holding my puppy when they could very easily be on the ground walking. I would just try to minimize the amount of affection I give and the amount of holding I do. And if I do have to hold my puppy, it's not across my chest. It's under my arm like a coach purse.
Like this.
She's being held here. And it's not in my face. It's not emotional. It's very businesslike. If you have to do potties and stuff like that. Also, one of the biggest...
Can
you want to go over
take
something?
a chill pill? The hand, you can't see, she's so fluffy. The hand is under the chest, under the rib cage. She feels supported because I'm sitting. So I might have to cock a hip out because you don't want their back legs to feel unsupported if your puppy already has some size. Otherwise, while I'm walking, I would take the other hand and I would cup the back feet so they feel supported. And I'm holding them like this. It's very matter of fact. There's no emotion in it. And that's just like the whole, you might need to do this as well if they're top heavy.
That's my version. I do more of a butt hold with my elbow, and I do more of a shoulder hold
She's too
right
big.
here.
She's actually too big for that. So it depends on how big your puppy is.
No, I would only do it for the big puppies.
Ricky, can you go ahead and take her?
She done.
Well, my carpal tunnel's acting up. She's big.
She's a thick girl. She's big.
All right. Her foot's in my pocket. Okay.
That's why she was so cozy. Next thing we're going to do is we got to have a leash on that puppy, guys. If we don't have a leash on the pup, if they jump on the couch and we couldn't get to them quick enough to block that, we don't want to pick them up. That's where we're getting the growling. We want to apply a leash pressure to move them off the couch. And then once they've started moving a little bit, then you could kind of assist them with the hand under the belly and set them down if they're too small to jump down on their own. So a lot of it is preventative. I know people that when their puppies are out in the living room, they're dragging a leash and they have a playpen around the couch and no one's on the couch yet. The person is like with the dog, training, socializing, playing, supervised separation. So that'd be my suggestion. What do you think?
I've done this with a lot of small, spoiled dogs. And sometimes it's not spoiled, and I'm going to go into that scenario very briefly, but just know that yes, you have to do everything he's doing, but more. There's got to be a structure schedule. This dog has got to see you in a different way because
she's showing you how to change the brain. I'm telling you how to change the body.
Because you're already having some really misunderstandings of just hierarchy issues and who to look to and how to treat everybody. And so that's got to change right away. But you also need to desensitize being touched. So you have a treat pouch on you 24/7 when your puppy is out, and you need to do this every time you pick your puppy up, as well as mini 2 to 3 minute sessions throughout the day of piece of food, they're on the ground, piece of food, go under the belly, see how they do with that, piece of food. If they don't take food, when they feel you go under their belly, you have to start smaller. You have to just touch their side. Piece of food, or go buy a boiled chicken or a roast chicken at Costco or something and do higher value food, because we've got to make this something to look forward to as well as all the other stuff we mentioned. And it all kind of works together nicely. And so you desensitize going under the belly, food, lifting, don't lift up a little, just go under the belly and then commit. Pick up, put back down. I'd probably squat down first, so it's not like a big pickup. Squat down, pick up, put down, pick up, food. Great. Put down, underbelly, food. Mix it up. When you desensitize, you mix things up. Don't make it hard every time with the pickup. Sometimes it's a couple belly ones. Sometimes it's a pickup, but really gauge how your puppy is doing. Don't rush them. The whole point of desensitizing, because there's different types of training. What we're doing right here is desensitizing. So you don't want to elicit a reaction. So you're always working under threshold where you don't get the growl and the dog is not so stressed that they're not taking food from you. So you're always working under that threshold enough to where they're still taking food and you're building up tolerance. That's throughout the whole day. Like, you cannot screw that up. You do that hardcore for a week and start working on all the other things, you might have a different dog. But I have to tell you guys, and this is something that I have learned over the years working with hundreds, thousands of dogs, and I'm going to say hundreds of herding dogs because a lot of them tend to be herding in this regard, is some dogs, they are sick of humans. And you get a puppy and they have a couple of weeks of having the human in their face, picking them up, invading their space. And some of them, they don't like it, and they don't like our species, and they don't understand why we do that. And they may not even care for affection that much. There are lots of dogs that are not affection driven. And what's happening is, like, those dogs are being pushed to aggression when, if the owners had just stopped overstimulating them and stopped getting in their face and treating them like a stuffed animal, they'd probably be a really great dog. And so that's something to keep in mind too. Like, if there are kids around, this happens a lot when we have kids, and we'll have doodles even that go through adolescence and they're on the couch and the kids are constantly going on the couch and getting in their face. And then we'll get emails about, oh my God, my doodle is suddenly growling at the kids. So we just want you to keep all of this in mind. That's a lot of overstimulation for a lot of different personalities of dogs. And just look at it, you wouldn't like that either. So
we are currently in the highest percentage of dog bites like that we've ever heard of in our careers at this current time. So the stuff that we're mentioning is current events to us.
And previous careers, like my mentors that are in their 60s, it's the same for them too. So there's something not good happening, and that's one of the things. So anyway, keep that in mind. All right. Oh, I got to answer the baby question, and we've got some great questions on here too.
The baby question we never gave her an answer to.
We never gave an answer to. So we got a baby question last week, and we told her what not to do, but we forgot to say what to do.
Because we enjoyed that part so much.
Yeah. So they have a baby coming this week. Actually, I did a Zoom with her to really like talk about the home and like the scenarios and the do's and don'ts and all that, and got to thoroughly go over stuff. And she was not criticizing at all. She just casually was like, "You said what not to do, but what to do." Okay. In this person's situation, it's an older. Let's just say it's an older puppy. Let's say it's a 1 to 2 year old puppy. We don't let dogs, puppies sniff babies on the head right away. I like the 4 week. Like, let the puppy just settle in, the dog settle in with all the noises, the sights, the smells. Let them just see how they are. Is it excitement, anxiety? Is it fear? Are they totally fine and calm and just can't wait, to be, a part of this? Whatever it is, we want to start with respect first. So for this particular dog, I believe it's a GSP, and it's very energetic, as most of them are GSP. And so it was husband put on a leash and crate when they come in. Wait till everything settles down nicely. Mama is on the couch or in the chair with baby. Dad puts the dog on leash, on like whatever he walks him on. Comes out, and GSP is probably going to be like, "What is that?" Dad does turns just like he would on a walk off of a dog or anything else. Just let's go, Archer, let's go, until Archer gets into a groove and the newness of the situation calms down a bit. That could take 10, 15 minutes. And then they just put Archer in place, because Archer knows place, and back ties him. For you guys at home, if your dog doesn't have a good solid place yet, no big deal. Have a crate out in the living area and just put your dog in crate. And that would be my suggestion, is to wait a minimum of 4 weeks. Now, if you have a super easy dog, if you do think your dog is gentle and kind of more submissive minded, I might cut it to 2 weeks. But you really want to give that dog, that puppy, a chance to just see how they are in general, with all the new stuff, while you guys are completely sleep deprived and trying to bond with your baby at the same time. Good luck.
Puppyhood.
Do you want to? Oh no. Okay. So let's do. No. We're prioritizing these.
Oh, I got a couple then. I got a lot.
Did you forget?
I got a lot of good ones.
Okay. Mel Topo, 11-month-old lab, looking for tips on leash pulling. Tips on leash pulling is kind of hard to give. I mean, I can tell you how to stop a dog from leash pulling depending on their age. It's not really a tip-oriented thing. It's more like, it's very social media-esque. I know what you're going for there. But it's kind of more of like, I'm going to train my dog to stop pulling. And my first advice to you would be to walk out that front door, like gather some YouTube videos and some advice from different places. And you're going to walk out that door and you're going to stop taking one step when your lab pulls. Because if you try to take these ideas and apply them, but you still take one step while your dog is pulling, labs are some of the quickest to desensitize to everything. They're also one of the quickest breeds to desensitize to even training tools. Mm-hmm. So you could have the ultimate training tool and they're still dragging you down the street because they're the ultimate happy, silly dog.
They will pull through a tool as hard as they possibly can out of love and joy.
And they're fine.
The world.
And they're totally fine.
Yeah.
So, what's your food work like? Can you do a heel in the house? Can your dog do let's go work in the house on a nice loose leash? Turn, stop and sit food. Can you do distractions in the house? Like walk up to the door, open it, dog stays with you, stop and sit food. Then your driveway or your walkway, really compartmentalize your expectations and build up to the walk.
People don't realize how important this is. We call it proofing in the dog training world. Mm-hmm. What it basically is saying if you see a distraction and you go for it, we're going to stop you. We're going to reset you. But you'll do it over and over again. You'll approach that door 5 times in a row until he can sit with it opening and you can calmly take that step out. And the minute he runs past you, it's turned right back in. Yeah. You do it enough times where your puppy understands what you want in a controlled environment. Yep. Because when you go outside to the real world, you're not in control of that. Yeah. But you could use your driveway, which you're in control of, your front yard, which you're somewhat in control of. That's the gradual progression we use until eventually even just trying to walk on the sidewalk in front of our house. There's no expectation of how quickly you should be doing it. We have clients that do online program that do 2 months of indoor walking for a younger pup because they're very distracted outside.
Now they'll still
good habits.
I mean, they'll still go outside like on a harness.
Socialization, yeah.
They'll still go outside like on a harness and go to the park and do long lead and let sniffing and hikes and things like that. But to work on the proper walk, you build up to that and you want to stay away from bad habits. I would say if you've got excellent food drive, like your dog is dialed in with food drive, you could try a harness. But an 11-month-old lab, if you don't have dialed in food drive, get control of the head. I mean, that's the first line of defense. And then whatever you decide to use, and don't use flat collar, whatever you decide to use, do some research on that. It could be martingale, it could be, gentle leader, it could be a number of things. Do some research on that and start working on it inside, right in the front, right in the back, and then build from there. Okay? All right.
No, I got one.
Aw. I'm trying to get you in Instagram.
My 19-week-old Cavapoo just cries in crate when I leave her by herself. Only started last few weeks. What can I do to help her settle?
19-week Cavapoo crying in crate.
This is during the day, but nighttime she is fine.
Oh, okay.
Pretty standard. I'd be curious how much training you're doing when your puppy's out of the crate.
It's TikTok.
Sorry, thank you. I like how this one's on my side, that one's on your side.
I know.
We should swap it. All right. I would like to think about how much exercise and training my puppy gets when they come out of the crate. Let's talk about just the basics. When I have my dog out of the crate, there has to be an element of exercise to tire them out a bit, at least take the edge off of it.
Yep.
There has to be an element of training to help their brain tire and settle a little bit. And then there's got to be a version of existence if they can handle that and not bark, whine, and cry the whole time.
Yep.
But where they get to settle next to my body on a bed, a dog bed, a place cot, whatever you need, maybe a playpen around it if they're constantly trying to get off of it, or you could just do a leash and hold it. But the whole point of it is you're eventually teaching them to use their body energy, use the energy of their body to help calm the body, use the energy of the mind to settle the mind, and then eventually learn how to settle next to us and get closer and closer.
How do they do that? You sound like a guru. Calm the body to calm the body. Calm the mind.
Once you have the dog on place, then give it a moment and just eventually let it settle and then put him back in the crate. How are we going to do all that? One, you could do a playpen next to you, but your dog might jump up a little bit. If that's the case, playpens don't work. Two, you could try a back tie, but it only works if you've already done place command because they have to know how to stay on the place command a little bit.
Oh, wait, there's more to that though. It only works if you've taught place command our way, which is more of a balance style, meaning we use spatial pressure, body language to teach a dog how
and where will they find that, Bethany?
How to stay in place. You can find that on thepuppyacademy.com. Just click on the online school and check us out.
I was so curious if that's what you were working towards. I was like, why are you interrupting me? I get it now. I get it. Yes. Our way is a lot more spatial pressure and a little bit of leash pressure and leash control. But a lot of
and food too.
Oh yeah. Well, it's 99% food.
Yeah.
We just back up all of our food with body language, a little bit of leash pressure, and really good understanding.
And then we switch. So as we progress, it's body language first, food is the reward, then you phase out the food. So it's
and what do we call that?
Phasing out the food?
Proofing.
Proofing. Okay, Josh, edit that properly. We call that proofing.
Yay! But that's how you guys are going to get a little bit closer to your goals.
Yeah, exactly. And just really watch your affection level, in the house. I would say no affection 15 minutes before you put them in crate and 15 minutes after you've let the dog out of crate. And make sure...
I got one more. We're not moving on yet.
And make sure that when you are opening, crate door and shutting it, that your dog's not flying out, I think you said 19-week old.
I think it was 19. Yours was 19.
You can teach a puppy, an 8-week-old puppy, to stop and wait at the crate door threshold for permission to come out. But for a 19-week, I'm going to go one further. Once you get that, bend down, leash the puppy up, pause again, stand up, invite the puppy out of crate. If they fly out, calmly turn around, go back in, rinse and repeat. Unless the puppy really has to pee, then I might, be
if your
more,
puppy's prone to
be more lenient.
Pick them up, carry them out.
But after they come out, but when you can, do this until the puppy walks out of crate, because you're setting a tone for the energy around the crate. And over the course of a week, this should start to take hold. So keep us posted. Come back next week. Okay.
Last week on Wednesday,
No stories. No stories.
Stop it. Last week on Wednesday, we had another person that asked a really, really good question similar to yours. We talked about it for like 12 minutes. So if you watched last week's Wednesday live at 1 p.m., we went over a ton of detail about the thing I wanted to say, but she wanted me to say it.
Do you know where they can find that though?
It's a 12-minute video.
YouTube.
30-minute video.
No, YouTube. You got to go to YouTube. Instagram doesn't post the entire thing. So just go to YouTube to find the full one last week, and the questions are timestamped in the
Or you can listen to our podcast.
bottom.
I always refer to
or you
this
could listen to our podcast. Okay. Link in bio.
I steered you guys wrong.
All right. So Ivy says golden doodle. Oh, golden 5 years old. Oh, Ivy, I'm so sorry. It's puppy training show. Our answer would be so different for a 5-year-old. I'm so sorry. Okay, D. Taylor, mixed breed, miniature, German, Australian Shepherd, 14 months old. Boy, you're really close to the cutoff, but you barely made it, D. Never barked before, is not barking at people outside. Why are you here? No, I'm just kidding. When inside the house, without seeing them, using leash to redirect. Okay, sorry, I gotta read it back. Mixed breed, German Australian Shepherd, 14 months old, never barked before, is not barking at people outside, and when inside the house without seeing them, using leash to redirect. I'm guessing it started barking?
I think she meant to say...
Started barking, right?
14 months old, never barked before, is not barking at people outside, but is now barking when people...
Inside. Right? D, if you're still here, can you follow up on that and clarify for us? Okay, Ray of Sunshine Shiba.
Oh, I like that. That was
Ray of Sunshine Shiba. That's so cute. Okay. 14-week-old Shiba, air bites. Well, yeah, it's a Shiba.
It's a Shiba.
I'm just kidding.
You should see a Basenji.
And bites hard while shaking her head. Well, if you have even a collar on her, she's pissed at you all the time. No,
we had a Shiba a few years ago that just wore a collar, and if we didn't take it off, it would shake and scratch its head for like 4 hours straight.
It was crazy.
It crazy.
At what point? It's totally relevant. Totally relevant.
I think it is if they got a Shiba. It's very relevant.
Oh, yes. Totally. Not wasting time at all.
You're welcome.
At what point is it considered abnormal puppy behavior? So, just to recap on what you actually asked. 14-week-old Shiba air bites hard while shaking her head. She's having all of her mental and physical needs met. She sleeps like 18 hours a day. Thank you for including that. That's great. I think it's interesting how confident you just told me that she's having all of her mental and physical needs met, because there's part of me that wants to challenge you on that. I'm really sorry. It's part of my personality. Okay.
It is.
I'm so sorry. Somebody tells me something and I'm like, oh, I can prove you wrong. Even though if I know it's right. But you did say air bites hard when shaking her head. So 14-week-old, I'm wondering, when someone tells me something like that, like mental, physical needs met, could it be possible that you're doing too much physical? I mean, a 14-week, even though she's sleeping for a long time, 14-week-old is pretty young. I do sometimes come across amazing, dedicated owners that they've got the schedule, they know the breed, they know what they're in for, and they are almost doing too much.
The dog becomes overtired, cranky.
Overstimulated? Yeah. Is that a possibility? You know, maybe just reevaluate that. I almost think that you can never do too much mental work. You know, does mental work also include teaching your puppy no? Because your puppy knew no with its siblings. Mm-hmm. So sometimes mental work to trainers also includes no, but not always to owners. So for me, I would be finding ways to say no as well. Like instead of saying sit, even for a 14-week-old, instead of saying sit and opening the door, I'd have the puppy on leash if needed. I would like open the door just like a setup, like just a crack if it's a sliding door or something. And and don't say sit first. You know, and this is not for every puppy. This puppy's not sensitive, clearly. At least not in this way. As soon as the puppy leans forward, right? Because I'm assuming that, he will do that because you didn't say sit. Just block with your body and use your body language to have the puppy back up. That's a no. Like it's a communication, way. Instead of using obedience to stop the dog at the door, use body language. Like try stuff like that. Short version for the biting though is more food work. Some Shibas I know are not food motivated. I'm sorry about that. But more food work and leash pressure straight in the air till the puppy kind of calms down a little bit. Don't lift him off the ground, but it's just a little bit of pressure. Arm out. I don't know. Would you have anything else?
I do. I think they're going to get a lot of sass with the Shiba. The last 3 Shibas we've had have been sassy little things.
They are sassy.
I think you're going to open that door. The dog's going to go. You're going to do that leg block. I want you to, my opinion is turn into the dog a little bit as well after shutting that door, because I think you're going to get air snaps at you. And I think right after that block and you get the air snaps, I think you should step in, say no, create a small pressure. It's not a tug. We're not popping. We're just holding pressure to get the dog to backtrack a few steps.
And de-escalate and to de-escalate.
Sit and eventually settle, which is your version of de-escalating the situation. Once she's able to, he or she? Once the Shiba is able to de-escalate, you kind of take a baby step back after releasing your tension. And if your dog takes a step towards you, move in again and add your pressure. When that dog can let you take a small step back, and it's able to settle and wait, I want you to grab a piece of kibble and I want you to say, come, walk the dog back to the door while stepping backwards, ask for a sit. Good. 1 inch, dog still watching and waiting, close it. Good. Treat, play around. Do it, move up to 5 inches. If the dog can't go past that, that's okay. It's okay to go down to 3 and still fully open the door and walk out. You're trying to gain as much progress as possible. Improvement is progress in our world.
She's very food motivated. Couldn't care less about leash pressure though. Okay, so wait a minute. Wait a minute. So the type of leash pressure we're talking about is firm enough that makes the dog, even a 14-week-old, just a little uncomfortable, but not so much that they freak out. And so you might want to use flat collar when it comes to just biting.
Or martingale too.
Or martingale. Martingale's great for this too.
Fabric martingale, not the chain.
Yeah.
The chain is going to be too loud in her ears. She'll hate it.
Physically restraining her doesn't work. She thinks I'm playing with her. So that means she's not taking you seriously because you're not being firm enough. And so here's the thing. When you're holding her out and away from her, you're not saying no. You're not physically... Okay, so let's be super clear here. And I think you need a little bit of one-on-one help to kind of get over the hump here. Shibas are not easy. But anyway, just to be clear here, the block at the door, the spatial pressure block that I was talking about, is separate than the leash pressure out thing. I'm talking about, he just added that in because he thinks that your Shiba's not going to respect you doing any blocking.
Just the body, I think that she's going to snap at you.
So let's make sure that's separate. So I'm talking about, that's just an exercise you can do to make sure your dog is respecting physical space. I can do the same thing for place, and then back away. Dog steps off place. No, move in and teach my puppy how to be sensitive to my spatial pressure, just like they are to dogs. You need to be sensitive to human spatial pressure as well. The whole thing of using the leash for biting is totally separate. We have a lot of videos and specifics, like actual how-to, in our online school on this. Just FYI, if that's something that you're interested in, on thepuppyacademy.com. But just to be a little bit more specific, you need head control, and I know Shibas hate that, but you need I would do a martingale, doing this kind of work. And it's not about physically restraining her, even though I could definitely see why you would think that. It's about de-escalating the moment and making her a tiny bit uncomfortable, where she prioritizes, what is this? Turn this off. How do I turn this pressure off? Then you turn the pressure off. Then she's like, I'm going to come at the leash, or I'm going to come at your ankle again, because you've relaxed the leash, and you just go again. Don't say no. Don't move into her. Don't confront her. Don't add conflict, because this little Shiba will chew you up and spit you out, metaphorically, mentally, because she's probably got mad psychological skills. And so it's just pressure up, relax. She tries to come in and do something or bite the leash, pressure up. She cares more about the pressure. She's like, turn this pressure off, relax. Rinse and repeat until everybody takes a breath, and go back to your food work again. So that's just a way to stop her when she's crazy into taking your fingers off. It's a de-escalation technique. That's all it is. And all the other stuff is to, help with the relationship and her not biting so hard. One more thing. I'm sorry I can't remember the name of a couple off the top of my head, but I would highly suggest rooting around Instagram for Shiba Inu and Jindo trainers. Because these are different dogs. I absolutely go in with a different mindset, and I'm still not the best at these types of breeds than I am legit people who are just like into the Shibas and the Malamutes and the Jindos.
It's a specific type of training.
And the Akitas. It's like they're different. It's more of like a companion, and sometimes you got to give a little more, and it's a more give and take.
You don't get to choose when you get affection. They kind of choose it more often.
And yeah. So anyway, there's just a lot to it. So kind of look for some trainers that really specialize in these breeds. And I personally would go for balanced trainers that specialize in these breeds. And I think that'll help you. Same with YouTube, hop on YouTube and then, check out our online school. So yeah. Okay. Real quick.
Another one?
No, but I wanted to tell D. Taylor, I screenshotted your questions, D. Taylor. So even if you can't make it next week, we're going to prioritize your questions, and then you can just watch the replay. The whole thing shows up on YouTube. Only part of it shows up on Instagram. Sorry about that. But I'm sorry we couldn't get to you, but I've got all the goods, and we're going to do it next week. So I screenshotted them. So they're in my phone.
Now I'm curious about the question.
This is the dog that was barking, but we didn't know for sure. But I got details.
Come back to
I got details.
Cool.
Okay. All right, D, we'll talk to you next week, and thank you all.
Thanks for tuning into Ask a Puppy Trainer Show.
We hope you found some advice that you can use to help make puppyhood a little easier.
Don't forget to join us live every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Time on Instagram or TikTok at The Puppy Academy.
This is where you can get a chance to ask your burning questions in real time. And if you want even more puppy guidance, visit our website at thepuppyacademy.com for info on joining our online puppy school.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing to our podcast and leaving us a review.
These reviews let more people find us and supports us on our mission to help as many puppy parents as possible around the globe.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.